All right, here we are. Month of September has finished, and without further ado, let's show the statistics. Finishing the month, 2,351 in profit, so well over my monthly goal. My monthly goal is 2,000, and really, I didn't think I was going to hit my monthly goal this month. It was getting really, really hairy towards the end. But thank God for BIAF. BIAF was the one. I did take a loss early in the month on BIAF. It was actually my biggest loss on BIAF on September 2nd, which I will go through. My largest gain was on INM, which they're about the same, 146 and 146. Largest gain on INM, which I will also go through. But I really didn't think I was going to get to 2,000 on the month, because let's take a look here on the month before this week. We're coming into the last week, and before this week I was only, this week I clocked in at $1,000 and $1,072, which is a really nice week for me. But before that I was only up maybe, what is this, maybe 1,200, 1,300, and we had about a week left of trading. So a little bit over 50% to my goal, and we only had 25% left in the month. So I was starting to be like, this might not, and it was really slow up until the end, but it was really slow in the market. So I was like, all right, it might not be this month. I prepared. I knew a month like this would happen. It would get really slow, and I may not hit my monthly goal. And I am prepared for situations that do happen. I had backup savings accounts and other things that can help me to get through any slow months. But completely took me by surprise. This last week, I really started to hit a nice stride. So on Monday was small gains because it was slow until Tuesday. We started getting ATXI popped up, made a huge move. It was like 200% on ATXI, but I only walked away at $260. I left a lot of money on the table. Then on the 28th of September, BIAF was the one. I was just so dialed in on BIAF. I even felt like I could have done more, but $523, I will take it. That's like really close to my biggest green day ever, which is 570 something, 578, I think. So this is my second biggest green day, and so that day saved my month. And then I finished the month nice and steady with a nice $88 and $153. So 2 base hits, but at least I'm not red. At least I'm not red finishing this month, because I have this tendency that every time I have a big green day, an outsized green day, so like a normal decent green day for me lately thus far has been like $300. But once I start to push $400 or $500 on the day, then I'm like, all right, now it's starting to be a bigger green day. And then the next day, I think it's just going to be like, it's going to be a walk in the park, and I feel a little bit of pressure to kind of beat that previous green day, and I get a little anxious. And so I have a trend of, whenever I have a big green day, I follow it up the next day with a huge red day, pretty much giving it back. Like, it's happened so many times. But that didn't happen here. That didn't happen. And I made sure that was not going to happen. And I was very aware coming into Thursday that it wasn't as hot as it was Wednesday and Tuesday. And I was able to kind of adjust on the fly, size down, be a little bit more selective. And you can see, on Wednesday I had 73 trades. Thursday and Friday I cut that in half, almost in half, a little bit less than half. So that was due to just being more aware of the markets and identifying the level of momentum. The market sentiment is so important. And that is part of your edge, because if you can't identify the market sentiment, then either you're going to be taking too light of size in a hot market, or you could be taking too big a size in a cold market, and both of those you don't want. When it's a hot market, you can't afford not to take the risk. You have to push it and push it and push it. You have to push your size, you have to push your comfort zone, because that's going to make up for all of those cold weeks, cold months. But when the market is cold, it starts to turn back to cold. You have to be able to identify that market sentiment before you start placing trades, thinking that it could be still like a hot day. Because if you're taking those same level of trades that you do in a hot market, you can completely wipe out. And I've seen traders take huge losses, even including myself, taking huge losses and making it so hard to dig yourself out, because now that the market sentiment has shifted, it's harder to make back those gains in a cold market. And I can give you an example. I mean, even just look at my win-loss expectation over the entire. Let me back this up here. My win-loss expectation from the beginning, where I was doing great. I was like, this was after I came off the simulator, and I was doing small size, and I was getting confident. Here I was like, I didn't know, this just might be luck here, and then I just started taking off. Getting consistently like $30 days, $50 days, $60 days, and it was sort of a hot market. It's 2021, and then I remember just being like, one day, like for like a week, it just dried up for like 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, it just dried up. There was no opportunity, and I had no idea. Like I had no idea market sentiment. I thought a bull flag was always going to break out in every single market. I thought the dips would always react the same way in every single market, and when I found out I was starting to take losses in setups that I wasn't used to taking losses, then I started to panic, and I was like, I got to double down. Because I got to make this back, or like part of my ego was like, no, I do have a winning strategy. I can prove it. I can prove that I can be successful and that I have the winning strategy. And so I just pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed, and I was grasping at so many straws. I was trading the SPY. I was trading NIO, NEO. I was trading, large caps when I don't even trade. I don't have a strategy for large caps, and I was trading large caps. It was like I was just grasping at straws, at anything, just to try to make back those losses. And what could have been just $100 drawdown off my highs, it turned into giving everything, 90% of everything that I worked so hard for from December of 2020 to April of 2021. So 5 months of work evaporated in 3 days. And within a week, within 3 days, 3 or 4 days, evaporated. And I was at my all-time low. I was so low, I even convinced myself to give up. I was like, I don't have what it takes. I need to just figure something else out, because clearly I don't know how to do this. But, part of me, I just enjoyed it. I just enjoyed looking at the markets, even though like it was such a rocky beginning. And I was just like, always felt like I was always losing money. I was just waking up and losing money, waking up and losing money, waking up and losing money, and wasting my time. Still, some part of me just kind of believed that this could be a true career or a true passion, something I can actually make something out of. And I believed in it. Part of me still believed in it, and I saw people doing it, so I knew it was possible. And I did enjoy it, so there was no reason for me to stop. And so I just kept going, and I kept waking up and looking at the markets. I took some time off, and then I started trading small size again, literally 10 shares again. Started to curl back up, and I was like, holy crap, like, I'm back at this. I'm back. Before you know it, I'm already back a couple months, 3 months, I'm back at where I was. And then from there, after learning that lesson, that's all about reading market sentiment. It's all about, that lesson right there was all about reading the market sentiment. Is the momentum there, or is the momentum not? Because when the momentum's not there, you need to adjust. You cannot just try to push through, because you're going to take massive losses. And that was an example of that. And from there, like I haven't had a huge drawdown like that again. Like that was a 90% drawdown. And from there, I've only had small little blips of drawdown. My biggest drawdown was, well, it was actually this my biggest drawdown here was actually the same as here, but this was on when I was trading 10x to 20x the share size, which I am right now. I'm not trading 10 shares anymore. I'm trading 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares or 500 shares, depending on the price of the stock. Here I was only trading 5 or 10 shares. So, relatively speaking, well, objectively speaking, it's the same, but relatively speaking, it's a completely different drawdown. This is a 90% drawdown. This is a 1% drawdown or a 2% drawdown. So I never really had a 90% drawdown or even anything close to that again. And that's just, that lesson just is going to stick with me for a long time. I remember that day so clearly. I was on the verge of tears. I was on the verge of tears. I was in fetal position with my head in my hands, and I was like, holy crap, like, I put so much time into this, and here I am. I just lost everything. I just lost all the work, even though it was $1,000. But it wasn't the idea of the amount of money. Even though $1,000 is a lot, like it can buy you a lot. I mean, it's a decent amount of money to lose. It really wasn't more. It was more about just feeling like a failure. It was more emotional because I was a failure, and it kind of confirmed everything in my past of that, I gave up on. And there's so many things in my past that I just quit. I tried like almost every sport out there, like basketball, football, track, cross country. What else did I do? I tried tennis. I tried bowling. I did all these different things. I tried doing chess in the chess club or chess tournaments. I tried doing different activities in college and like all of these different things, and I quit at all of them. I quit in school. I quit in everything, every sport that I've ever tried. I just, that belief in me kind of just like verified itself through this failure here. And that's why I was feeling so low, because it just confirmed that I am a failure. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but it's definitely something that you need to confront. You can't be a successful trader unless you confront that belief that you hold in your mind. And I know a lot of people have that belief. But yeah, it's just something. It's a lot of internal game that you need to go through. A lot of internal baggage you need to work through to become a successful trader. But I'm going to stop ranting here, because I'm just ranting too much. I got to get back to the recap. So where was I at? So to close it out, this trading, I am not quitting. I will not quit this like everything else I did in my past. I'm not quitting this. I'm not giving up on this. I don't care how hard it's going to get. I'm going to continually do this until I'm in my deathbed. Until I can no longer type in the computer, I'm going to be trading. Because, I quit at everything in my past, and, I'm just not going to quit at this. I'm not going to quit. That's like my internal talk. That's how I overcome this. And thus far, look at the success so far. Look at the success. This is like beyond what I ever thought so far, that, where I was back here. I never thought I'd be up here yet. I thought I'd still be kind of just only making like a couple $100 a month. But, success is coming faster than I thought. And so we'll see what happens when the hot market comes. But anyways, let's get back. I'm talking too much. So September, let's look at the statistics. So my win-loss ratio, 60% winners and 37% losers. So a little bit less than my average. So my all-time average, we can take a look, is 63.5%. So in this month, I was a little bit lower on my average. However, my win-loss ratio is actually positive by a little bit, which in my average is actually negative. So I did do relatively pretty good. So positive risk-reward, but suffered a little bit on the accuracy, which I'll take because my profit factor is bigger than average. I have a 172 profit factor in September, and my average is about 1.49, 1.5. So did really good with September, even though it was a slow month. And I'm really, really proud of myself that I came through and hit my monthly goal. I was really thinking that it wouldn't come. So let's look at the stocks that I traded. So BIAF, as you can see, it's my big day in BIAF. Even after I took my biggest loss in the month on it earlier in the month, I took my biggest loss on BIAF, which we will take a look at. I came back and slayed that baby, $500 and almost $600 in profit on BIAF. So BIAF is now my mamacita, and my biggest loss is CLEU. So Clue, I remember making that video, no clue. I have no idea what was happening with Clue, $89 in the red. But, you know, I didn't really have any huge losses, but, you know, nice on BIAF, ALXI, HBCL were also good. So we'll go through days and times. I want to take a look at this, actually. So pre-market, I have been noticing pre-market, I have not been performing as well as I was. So I'm actually only small profits, very small profit in pre-market, maybe by, when was that, 130 minus 90, so 40 plus. In all of September, I only made $70 pre-market. So very, almost not even worth it to be trading pre-market. And I noticed that, and that's why earlier in the month, I mentioned in one of my recaps that I was going to start waking up at 8:30, and the market was slow. So it wasn't really worth it for me to wake up pre-market. I'd rather take the extra rest and then invest that into the market open, where I do have most of my profits at between 9:30 and 10 and 10 and 10:30, which is my golden hour. So recently I have been waking up a little bit earlier again. Since Tuesday and Wednesday it was a little bit hotter. So if we start seeing a shift back into hotter momentum in October, I'm definitely going to be waking back up at 7 a.m. But if it's going to be slow, you know, I might as well just sleep until 8:30 and then make sure I'm sitting down at the computer by 8:45, 9 o'clock, and then prepare my watch list and just trade the open, because it's not even worth it to be trading pre-market in a cold market. I'd rather just take the extra, have the extra sleep. After hour, not after hours, power hours, I'm net profitable, but again, definitely not as good as my golden hour between 9:30 and 10:30. That is where I need to be super dialed in, because that's where my strategy performs super well. And then during the week, Wednesday was my biggest day because of BIAF just this week. And that was, biggest day of the week. And then sort of to dwindle out until Friday, Monday and Tuesday, kind of weak. So that's that. So let's go through my largest gain and my largest loss, and then we'll wrap up the month of September. So largest gain, INM. I have this recorded. So looks like we had a nice pre-market gap. And going into the open, we had a little bit of an indecision candle for the first minute, and now we're pulling back to VWAP. So now we breaking the low of the open. So this is the opening range. Technically, they call this as the opening range setup, opening range breakout, or a breakdown. So the first candle makes the range, the opening range. So we have an opening range from 1430 to 1548, big range. So we're either going to see a breakdown opening range, or we're going to have an opening range breakout. So here we break the lows, and we're seeing buyers. We're seeing buyers who are holding, reclaiming this VWAP, bottoming tail. This is where you want to get in. This is the setup right here. And we have potential shorts in here to be squeezed out. I mean, potential longs that are now adding for a higher low. So looking good probably on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. Here now we're breaking over 90 EMA. I do take my starter. where do I take my starter here for the break back over this pivot pre-market high. It's a nice pivot here. We don't have anything closing over $15. So if we're closing over $15, then I want to be in. Here I want to be in. I don't know what I'm doing, but I just need to be in. All right, here I need to have at least my starter size. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's see. I know I get in this. Still holding 15, still holding 15. There we go. That's what we like to see. Look at that nice high volume. Testing the highs, taking a couple scalps. Now we're pretty confident we're going to break this high here. 500 shares. Took that off way too soon. Wow. 1560. Wow. I only took that off for a 30-cent gain when I could have had a potential $1. Well, I probably wouldn't have gotten the high, but I probably would have got, at least double that. I probably could have got 60 cents. So I probably could have had a $300 winner. That is a shame. That is a shame. Yeah, I could have got way more than that. Still good though. Still really good. I don't even think this holds up. So you can't be too hard on myself. I don't think it holds up. And there goes the flush. So I did sell. It's because I just hit flat in position, and as soon as the breakout happened, because I was too scared of a false breakout. That's really what happened there. Really what I should have is just kind of scale out into the extension. Maybe I would have had my first sell at 1560, but maybe I could have had another sell at 1580, 1590, 16, 1610. So you never really know. So sometimes it's good to scale out. If it's a hot market, you definitely want to scale out because you're going to see those extensions, and that's where you can really hold the portions of your position for the extension and capture as most profit as possible while also taking profit along the way. But in the cold market, you have more likely of false breakouts, not holding the highs. People are selling into any pops. So you just want to be the first seller on the board, selling into the breakouts. And so I think that's just what happened here. Could have been, it's middle of September. It's a very slow market. Probably just wanted to take that profit as soon as possible, just take it off the table. And here you look, it doesn't even hold up. So, maybe I did leave a little bit on the table, but I definitely ensured that I did have a profitable trade. So there are pros and cons, and that also ties into market sentiment, recognizing the market sentiment. Market sentiment's hot. You want to be scaling out, letting some shares ride a little bit. Market sentiment's cold. You want to take your profits. You just want to take them quick, get green, get out, move on with your life, wait for something better. So that was that one, and now the BIAF. This was when I was at home. I was visiting family, and I was working from my travel setup, and I was accumulating off this 9 EMA, looking for the retest of the highs. This one was was it a pre-market capper? So I had so we ripped up first day of September and sold off. Now we're forming potential. So we formed that higher low, broke out, and I was thinking this could run more. So my problem was seeing that there were still $3 to the highs. And very unlikely, unless it's a hot market, that this would be going to climb all the way up another $3 and retest the highs, especially after making this move. So, I was accumulating off the lows here and wanted to see a curl up to the highs, at least a retest. But we didn't hold the 9 EMA. Added that to 1209, 100 shares. Added another 50 at 1176. Thinking we would really hold this low, and then I just remember I couldn't even get out for a loss in time, for a small loss. It just fell through. Like, he had no chance to sell 1120, 1140, 1150. It went straight down to 11. So pretty much took $1 a share loss. So yeah, that equates to roughly about $150. So that was it on BIAF. Biggest loss in the month, but that stock gave me the biggest daily gain in the month as well. So getting my payback for sure. And that will end the monthly recap. So finished up 2,351, well over my daily goal. Super stoked for what is coming through for Q4. Q4 traders usually say that Q4 is the best. Q4 and Q1 are the best trading months or trading quarters for volatility, volume, and bigger moves in the market in the small caps. So we'll see if that lives up to that. I hope it does. I'm really looking forward to some sustained good momentum, something like we were seeing on Tuesday and Wednesday. If we can see something on Tuesday and Wednesday just sustained every day until the end of the year, I will be off the wall. I will be super excited because with markets like that, I could continually pull $500 a day on average. I can do that, what I did on Wednesday. I could do that every day if we get that same opportunity. Maybe I could do even more because my confidence will build as my green days get bigger, my share size gets bigger, and I get more confident in the setups. But right now, some setups are working, some setups are not, and it's really hard to we're continually flipping back and forth from getting aggressive. Now we have to get conservative. Now we have to get aggressive. Now we have to get conservative, and now we have to get play defensively. Now we play offensively. We're always slipping back and forth. It seems like the past couple of months, it's really, really difficult to make sure that we're growing our confidence in our setups. But we'll see. I think the market will shift. The market will shift for Q4. So looking forward to October. I feel something good coming. And if I could hit my daily goal in this market in September, if I can hit my daily goal, imagine what I could do when we have a nice sustained opportunity for the entire month. I could hit 5K a month. I could hit 7,500 a month. I could hit 10K a month. It's all there. It's all there. The only thing holding me back is opportunity, confidence, and my mindset. That's all that's holding me back. And then all I have to do is just change my share size right here. That's all I have to do. That's literally it. And it's always, I found out, sizing up, it's always so much in your head that you think about sizing up and it gets you anxious, it gets you nervous. But once you actually buy a stock for 2,000 shares, when you usually buy it for 1,000 shares or 700 shares, it's never as bad as you thought it would be. It's always wow, I actually just bought this stock for 2,000 shares. Holy crap, we're leveling up here. We're leveling up. I would have never even got to this if it wasn't for all of the growth that came before my past in trading. So, definitely you have to realize that, if you're struggling with increasing your share size, it's mostly just in your head. And you just have to find that right market. When that right market comes along, like on Wednesday, I knew we'd have some good opportunity. You just have to leap for it. And just, just trust that your statistics, trust everything that you worked for is going to work out in your favor. So that's it for the monthly recap. September is now in the books. Hit my daily goal. Super stoked for October, and I'll see you guys in October. That would be next week. So hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're still watching, please hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, peace.